Hey, do you really need salary increment? Perhaps it's just a side gig you need or some financial counseling. Okay, let me tell you this. Do you wonder why your salary increment really never plays on your savings? Perhaps your life never changes. You started working at a base salary, but today you find yourself with a high, huge income, yet your life doesn't change that much. I will show you in a very, very practical way that you easily understand why you don't change in savings, why your life doesn't change that much, but you have salary increment. We call it the rat race. I will show you in a few scenarios exactly what is happening in your life. And you think there is no change? You think the money you're earning is not enough? Perhaps it's enough, perhaps not enough. How do you know? Come, let me show you. First scenario. This is you. Forgive me for using a plastic to represent you. Anyway, this is you, and this is your income. It's on fabric softener, but let it just play the role if you understand the deal. This is on fabric softener. This is going to be your income, and this is you. Now, scenario number one. You see, you have your income, and this small hole you see here is going to be your spending. Now, you just started working, and you have your income. Here is your income. I hope you follow this. Here is your income. Below, you have your spending. The flow of the liquid is your income level, and below is your spending. If your income increases, you have more savings. You can see increasing, and it goes up. If your income increases, you have more savings. Now, let us go to the second scenario. On the second scenario, here is you. How many holes do you have here? One, two, three, four, five. These are your expenses. On the first scenario, we had one hole. That was your expenses. Now, you realize in the first scenario, when the income level started increasing, there was an increase in savings. There was some increase in expenditure, but there was an increase in savings because now the expenditure did not increase that much. Of course, when you start having much money, you must at least feel free and live a better life or start eating balanced diet, have a good car. But at what level should you change your level? At what level do you change your standard of living? How much money is money? So now let's go to next scenario. Scenario number two. This is you, this is your expenses, and this is your income. As income comes in, say salary. You see, there is nothing left. No matter how much you increase your income, everything goes out. Everything goes out. Savings does not increase. Why is that? Scenario number one, balance sheet for saving for investments. This is for saving for investments. We are going to be explaining to you a few of the scenarios as already seen in practice. We're going to be explaining this balance sheet for your income in three different scenarios. The first scenario here, you have balance sheet saving for income. You have income already here. You have your salary. You have your salary level increasing here. You have expenses which are liabilities here, and you have mortgage, feeding, rent, and loans and cars. And the level, you can see your level of expenses is actually high here. Then you have your savings here, which is definitely very low down below here, as you can see. And then your asset column is empty. Now let's go to the next scenario. Here we have scenario number two. Scenario number two, as you earlier saw practically, is a balance sheet for a very poor person. You can see it here, balance sheet for poor person. You have the income. Income comes here from salary, and You see the level of income is right here. It moves from salary right to expenses, where you have mortgage, feeding, and all sorts of expenses. It rises the expense level to maximum, but then you see the asset column is empty. So we are going to be explaining in our next video all of the scenarios in detail for you to understand. Let's go to scenario number 3. On scenario number 3, this is the real scenario of balance sheet of a rich person. Balance sheet or cash flow of a rich person. You can call it cash flow anyway. Cash flow of a rich person. You see from income here, we have its income and salary. It moves and goes straight that way. It goes to savings here, have some savings, and more of it passes and goes to asset column. Now, asset generates a lot of money, intellectual properties, investments, real estate, as you can see, and his asset generation income keeps rising at this angle, as you see here. Now, as it's rising anyway, from here now he has his expenses coming through, but then when asset rises much, some of the asset money will be coming back again to the input, which makes an income. Anyway, please, you have to join us in the next video. This is the insight of cash flow, how to manage budget. We shall be explaining in details how to run your budget. Make sure you meet us in our next video. Subscribe and click the notification button so that when we post our next video, you will be notified of it. It's going to be mind-blowing. So follow us, subscribe, and let's keep working. So talking about money, talking about salary increments, and talking about side gigs, and talking about a lot of spendings, you and I have a lot to talk about. This is more of a communication idea and more of a contribution subject than of a teaching one. And it requires a lot of information to be able to guide someone on such a level of information. So comment, share, and like. Give your own ideas below so we can communicate on what level do you think you have a financial problems. We are here to help you to look for side gigs. We are here to help you to run away and keep away from the rat race. That is what we're here to do. So let's go and let's work together.